Joyride 1957, a novel of intrigue by J.P. Wasmiller, Chapter 134. In Portland, Oregon, everything was in full chaos. Misty somehow made her way to the airport, and though no flights were taking off or landing yet, she got a ride on a U.S. Navy helicopter. It flew her to a remote base in southern Oregon. From there, she took a DC-3 flight to San Francisco, where she took a room in the St. Francis Hotel. She surmised correctly that James would head south when he could. She didn't think she could find James in chaotic Portland, but realized the only place he hadn't been was south. She remembered something in his notes about San Diego and realized that was probably where he would end his journey. But he would most certainly travel through San Francisco on his way. So she went there to wait in comfort. It would be a few days, but eventually the tall man in the black suit got his Dodge Hemi running and headed south. Veronica and the Times reporter took the train. They boarded the Southern Pacific's Shasta Daylight a few days after the volcano's eruption. The trip to Oakland in the bright orange and red diesel-powered train took 15.5 hours and passed by Mount Shasta around midday. Mount Shasta was not involved in the eruptions of a few days earlier, but its top was blanketed in clouds. The twins got their Thunderbird running after a day in the shop and headed south as well. They weren't so sure where they were going, but headed south on Highway 99 on a tip from the RCMP office. The priest from St. Mary's and Father Rich from St. Patrick's Cathedral in Portland both called the priest at Grace Cathedral in San Francisco to give the priests in San Francisco their updates on James' progress once the phone service was restored in Portland 3 days after the eruption. Rebecca and the German got going the next day from Grants Pass, but had lost James' trail in the fog and headed south towards San Francisco or Las Vegas or somewhere. James thought he had gotten away clean, but did not for some reason realize all his pursuers would also come to the obvious conclusion that the only way left for him to proceed was south to California. What James couldn't have realized was that there was one other person on his trail. Her flaming red hair flowed beautifully in the wind as her 1956 yellow Buick Century convertible gave her a sweet, smooth ride on Highway 99 south.